now we have the skids. Everybody looks at the skids and they say, what do you do with these things? Well, the skids are made to take abuse. They actually compress, they bounce, they do what they're supposed to do. They're made to be an item that's going to take some abuse. It's going to keep the bottom of the airplane in good shape. It's going to take a hit. They're going to support the bottom of the battery bay in the front end area, also holding the front nose and everything together. So these literally hold the camera box. They hold the whole front nose together. So if you're bouncing it in or banging it, and you only have a camera box in the front without these, you know, this is going to help the battery from pushing its way out. This is going to help strengthen the whole nose. So if you're just mounting a camera box and you got it directly up there with the batteries behind it, these are going to help you. If you don't have these, your box and all that stuff is at the mercy of your batteries being directly behind them. But this here is really going to support and hold the whole front of the plane together. And that is the reason for me for using plastic, is the versatility, the durability, and the ease of putting this all together, and the ease of replacement. So what I usually do is it's a hot glue effort here. What I usually do is I'll go through and I'll just put a nice bead around the perimeter of this whole thing with hot glue. Do that, or I'll spray a layer of 3M90 on these and I'll stick them together. It's not rocket science, it's just a matter of getting these together. Hot glue plays a major part on here as far as I'm concerned when it comes to coating all the perimeters of this with a glue and filling the flutes, because that's what's going to give you the strength and rigidity around the outer edges of this. So basically I got one glued together, hot glue. We come through with the second one, do the exact same thing. Like I said, don't overthink it. You know, it's really simple. And then make them nice and straight, glue them together. Some of the glue is going to come out. You're going to wipe it off. And I can do that with your finger. Just watch out, it might be kind of hot. Okay, that's what we do for the first part of the build. Then we'll go through and I'll get some popsicle sticks here. Get a handful of popsicle sticks because you're going to want them. Now, since this, is fairly hollow through and through, you're going to want to pump some hot glue in the perimeters of this, and this is going to give its outer strength around the outer edges and allow it to do some absorption, and it'll also help make them last longer and not wear. So what I usually do is I'll go ahead and I'll pump hot glue and let hot glue flow down into all this, all the way around. And this is going to give you some good strength. This literally makes them completed. If you're not putting hot glue in them, what I'll do is take a popsicle stick and just work it into those. Watch out for the hot glue. If it gets on you, possibly make a blister. And make sure you have a handful of popsicle sticks around here, because the popsicle sticks are going to get covered up, and the hot glue is going to tack up pretty quick. So there's the front end of it. Literally, I have hot glue that goes into about 1/4 inch of it all the way around the front end at least. And you can coat it a little bit more if it's sinking in. And I wouldn't worry about the weight, because the Zephyr usually needs a little weight to balance anyways, and this is really gonna help it. And I usually don't worry about trying to make them beautiful, because they're a throwaway item that is made to protect the front of an airplane, somewhat like a bumper, And you can see I've gone through, got a nice shiny coat, add a little bit of weight, add a little bit of strength to it, and then I'll start at the other end, just impregnating these with some hot glue into the flutes. And it's nice and hot, it's sinking down in there. Let's sink in. You can do a finish off. Now I'll go through the other side, which is the side where it meets the wing. I'll do the same thing. Give it a little bit of backbone here. Fill the flutes full of some glue. And then when you do go to glue it to the wing, it'll also give you a little bit more of a surface to glue stuff to. And I'll use the popsicle sticks to take off the excess. And what this does is this literally gives it strength around the perimeter. And then what I usually do after this is once they're done, I will go ahead and either wrap them with black tape all the way around the edges, or just leave them. You can take black tape and wrap the perimeter all the way around, stretch it and wrap it, and then when you glue them on the plane, what you're going to want to do is add a bead of hot glue right on this area and then slide them onto the plane. And once you slide them onto the plane, and then you can flip the plane over, and then what I do is where they meet the plane, around the very edges, I caulk them in with goop. And that gives you your final strength. The goop's going to be flexible, so if you do bounce it and it's cold outside, the hot glue doesn't pop it off. The hot glue is going to add a little bit of strength, but the goop is going to give you the strength that's going to glue it right to the laminating film. And that's pretty much what you want to do. You're going to want to go ahead and fill these with hot glue all the way around, and then add hot glue on them, slide them in. You can go ahead and add a piece of flexible plastic around the perimeter of this if you want, like a zip tie or something along those lines I've seen people do. It works really, really good. You know, and then you're going to basically just glue these in right up against the side of the camera box when you go to glue them on the plane. So, you know, the camera box ends up coming up about right there on the airplane. So, there's your tutorial on how to prep and glue together the camera boxes and the skids. Hope that helps. Okay, I've gone through and I have made them both impregnated with hot glue all the way around the edges, and then what I've gone through and done after that was basically start at the front and wrap a layer of black electrical tape around the actual skid, and then I capped this end and I capped this end, so these areas here, cap this end and this end, can have the tape being held by the tape, you know, so nothing gets out of whack. So what I'll do is I'll tape another one real quick here and show you how I do it. And this dresses it up, it protects the edges, and it just makes that area that is taped around a lot cleaner. So what I usually do is get this and, you know, I do it about 50-50, you know, basically, so you got the same amount stretched around. So I will go ahead and pull it nice and tight so it will conform the whole circumference. And this gives it a cleaned up look. They're going to get a little bit beat up anyways, but at least this will start them out nice. You fold that around, fold that around, take a little bit of tape, do a tape around, and this just cleans up where it mates. Okay, so now they're ready to put on the airplane. I've already gone through and put the camera box on the plane, which I'll show you. You can see what I did. This is an old school Zephyr. I've been building it for a guy for a little while. It's pretty nice. I went through and cut the camera box on the front, just cut it right in, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put hot glue on these skids right where my thumb is all the way around, and then I'm going to mate those right up to the plane and slide them on. And then once I slide those on there, I'm going to go through and put a layer of goop all the way around, and then basically secure the camera box and secure the skids and everything to the front of the plane. So I will go ahead and get that ready, and then I'll get you some video of that too.